What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. But first, a product review. I normally don't do product reviews. I'm normally doing gun reviews or, or whatever, something along those lines when it comes to reviews. But this is a product review, and honestly, this is an interesting product. When I first saw it, I was kind of in a situation where I absolutely needed one of these. So, and I'll go into it. I kind of went into it a little bit, but I think this is going to be the more in-depth video. So, I don't know if y'all remember, but a while ago, I would say back in October of last year, we had a huge range. We had a huge range day. During this range day, I put a good few hundred rounds through my G2C. You know what I mean? It was a pretty nice overall day, right? I go home and decide, you know what? Let me go ahead and clean it. I go to take it apart, and as I'm taking the recoil spring and guide rod out, it completely disassembled in a sense, and I like to say blew up, but it didn't blow up. It's not like anything like that. However, the parts did go flying everywhere. And even though I was able to get all the parts, I was not able to put it back together for the life of me. So what did that leave me with? It left me with no option other than to find a new recoil spring. Now, I did some looking online. And at the moment, I don't know why, maybe I wasn't navigating the website correctly, but I didn't find any on Taurus's website. I was pretty disappointed. I was like, wow. The only thing I'm seeing here is a Lakeline LLC, stainless steel recoil spring and guide rod. That's all I'm seeing. And if I'm going to order it, I'm not going to order it off Taurus's website. I'm going to order it from Lakeline directly. Why? Because I can get better updates. You know what I mean? Why would I have a middleman there if I don't need to? You see what I mean? So I go and order it. About $35, comes pretty quickly. Didn't take super long, so that's always good. As far as, assembly or putting it together with the gun, super simple. Same as you would with your standard factory recoil spring and guide rod. Now, I will say I have a round in the chamber, and I want to sit here and clear it. But you guys can see that it is very clearly on my G2C. It is on my carry gun. So let that be a good sign for you guys. All right. Now, one of my biggest concerns with getting this was how it was going to feed ammo properly, and if it was going to really work with some of the not so hot rounds like your standard FMJs. Because while it might work for self-defense ammo, because as y'all might know, self-defense ammo tends to be loaded a bit hotter than your standard FMJs or ballpoint ammo. Sure, it might work with your self-defense ammo, but you also want it to be able to work when you're just practicing and shooting around. You know what I mean? So that was one of my bigger concerns. Sitting there messing with it after lubing it up a little bit, making sure it's nice and smooth. I noticed that it didn't feel anywhere near heavier than the factory spring, which is a great sign. It means that chances are it's going to function properly. Carried it for a good while before I was able to put some rounds through it. I will say with this in here, I haven't been able to put a ton of rounds through it. However, I did put several different types of ammo, which that always is a good thing to test out. I've had zero malfunctions, I might add. I put in around 150-ish rounds, somewhere around there. It was going to be a bit more, but the range closed earlier that day. Pretty disappointed, but it's whatever. I had a great day overall. But so far, the reliability has not been an issue. Now, one point I want to bring up that a lot of people, they're like, oh, wow, this is amazing about this, and it's completely advertised this way too, is that it's supposed to help reduce recoil. Now, I'll say 9mm is not exactly a very, a very high recoil round by any standard. However, I didn't notice any difference. It didn't make any difference to me, not even in the slightest. Now, I will say, as I said, I only put about 100-ish rounds through it since putting this on here, but it didn't make any difference for me whatsoever as far as recoil goes. that's one of those things that I wanted to truthfully see. And, I sat there, I'm, shooting slowly. I'm not mag dumping, so that way I can really make sure if I'm noticing any difference. And I'm not noticing much of a difference, if any at all. So I will say right now, you'll see, even with, you'll see stainless steel Glock guide rods, for example. All these stainless steel guide rods and recoil spring systems assembly groups are essentially advertised to help lower recoil. And from what I've seen so far, at least with the Lakeline LLC recoil spring and guide rod, it is not. Does that mean it's bad? No. I truthfully believe this is a pretty solid product. It's not super expensive by any standard. As I said, I believe it was like $35 and then maybe $5 for shipping. It's, good quality. I will say it's going to be a better and more durable recoil spring and guide rod than your factory Taurus guide rod and recoil spring. It'll be a good bit tougher. So that's another plus. And as I mentioned before, one worry that I had with it realistically was it feeding your standard ammunition. I had zero problems with it. I had no malfunctions. I had no failure to feeds, failure to ejects. I had no issues showing that it would have a problem with your standard ammo. I put some Fiocchi through it. I put some MagTech through it. And then I also put some Blazers through it. So we're talking a good few different types of ammo. Granted, these are well-known brands of ammo. They are known for being, or at least having, some pretty solid ammo. But it's also your standard FMJ still. It's not loaded the hottest. So for a self-defense round to be in there, it will definitely be loaded hot enough. You're not worried about that. So for the price point, for the reliability, for the durability that's going to come with it, for how quick it gets there, because I will say, while I'm a big fan of next day shipping, I'm not a big fan of spending next day shipping money. So I don't know about y'all, that's just me. So while I did have to wait longer than 1 day for it, which of course, I'm impatient. So I was like, but it still got here pretty quickly. If I'm not mistaken, it got here in less than a week. So that's pretty damn quick. So as I said, for the price, durability, reliability, how quick it got here, I don't see a downside to it. It fits perfectly. I haven't had a singular issue with it. And even if it does actually help reduce recoil, that can only be a plus. You know what I mean? Personally, as I said, I haven't found that with my personal experience with it. I'm sure some people are different. That's not my experience, though. However, if it does, that's also a plus. You see what I mean? So I know this video is going to be a bit shorter. It's not a super in-depth review, as I haven't gotten to put too many rounds through my G2C since I've added it on there. But I think that about covers it for this video. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, and because you agree with me, Lakeline LLC stainless steel recoil spring and guide rod for the G2C is pretty damn dope, especially for the price too. I'm not going to lie. For the price, it's built to last better. I mean, hey, you can't go wrong with that. If you agree with me on that, y'all make sure to go check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.